Hello and welcome back to the Sports Sermon. I'm Dylan Staggy,
I'm Dan Majors. And I'm Jason Gandhi.
and we are here today with you to go over Game 4 from the NBA Finals. Unfortunately, we couldn't get together to do a Game 3 podcast, and today we couldn't get together either, so now we're doing it over the phone. So we do apologize for the audio a little bit not being as high quality as we would like it, but we are here today to go over Game 4 of the NBA Finals, a game in which the Cavaliers won 137 to 116, including some great offensive performances. The Cavs breaking the record for most threes in a final and breaking the record for the most points in a quarter in NBA history, or no, playoffs history, with 49 in the first. So let's look at some stats from the game. Jason, what do you have?
So when you look at the Cavs, there were three main guys that just carried the team, and it's their big three. LeBron putting up another triple-double of 31, 10, and 11. Kyrie adding his own 40 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. And then Kevin Love contributing nicely with 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. Someone that really hadn't been playing well but decided to show up last night would be J.R. Smith. 15 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. Over for the Warriors. Steph Curry struggled to get going offensively, finished with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 10 assists. Kevin Durant had 35 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Draymond Green had 16 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 assists. And then Klay Thompson finished 4 of 11 shooting with 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists.
All right.
So when you look at those stats, it doesn't seem like the Warriors played that bad. I mean, you still have KD putting up 30-plus, Draymond having a double-double, Steph having a double-double, Klay putting up 13. It really came down to how well the Cavs played. I know listening to the analysts and listening to different players, they all thought the Warriors played bad. The Warriors didn't play good by any means, but I don't think the Warriors playing their best brand of basketball would have beat the Cavs last night the way they were shooting and getting 24 three-pointers. So really, I think all the credit goes to the Cavs, and it's not that much of a disrespect to the Warriors. It's just how well the Cavs played last night.
Yeah, and I think the biggest difference between the teams has to be the three-point shooting. The Warriors shooting 11 for 39 from behind the three-point line, while the Cavs 24 for 45, over 50%, and actually better than their field goal percentage by just .4 for the game. So the Cavs just shot the lights out last night, and I don't know if anybody could have stopped their three-point barrage.
Yeah, definitely. I think really the main guy you look at, LeBron's going to get his numbers, especially in the finals. Obviously, it's crazy to say, but you almost expect this from LeBron. It's no longer a surprise because you just expect him to get a triple-double or be dominant the entire game. The guy that really impressed me was J.R. Smith, being able to really knock down his shots, going 5 of 10 from the field with 5 three-pointers. And so, transitioning into who my game MVP was, I went J.R. Smith and as my MVP, but really just role players in general. Because, obviously, if you look at a true MVP, it's LeBron because they're not going to do anything without him. But because even when he has them, that they haven't been able to win, it's guys like J.R. Smith, Kyle Korver, these guys that actually started to finally chip in are the reason that the Cavs were able to get ahead. The big three getting those numbers are not good enough to have the Cavs in the game, as we've seen in Game 3, Game 2, etc. It's those guys like JR and other players that are the reason that the Cavs won last night, and so that's why JR is my game MVP.
All right, Dan, who do you have for your game MVP?
Well, I think everyone would agree it's LeBron, but you got to look at other guys, and I think Love had a great game with 23 points and 6 of 8 from 3. And in the game before, Game 3, he was 1 for 9 from the field, so he finally showed up in that game.
All right, for my MVP, I wanted to do Kyrie Irving, shot 15 for 27, including 7 for 12 from three-pointer, but one stat made me pick LeBron James over him, plus 32. When LeBron was on the court, the Cavs outscored the Warriors by 32 points. No other player on the Cavs had higher than a plus 18. That was Kevin Love. So LeBron really just when he goes off the court, the Cavs can't do anything. That is why he is my MVP from last night. But let's move on to
I think
Oh, go ahead.
I think that like anybody's gonna say LeBron's your MVP, but just because you get so used to him playing at this level in the finals, that it's hard to like. I feel like I had to go somewhere else. So yeah, I don't think JR like his 15 points are the reason they won by any means. It's just because you expect that from LeBron. I mean, he's averaging 31.8, 11.8, and 10.5 in the series. Like you almost just get used to it. That's why I went JR. I think that's why Dan went Kevin Love.
Okay, well, JR and Kevin Love were definitely underperformers in some games this series. So let's move on to underperformers from last night. Jason, who'd you have?
I went Draymond Green. Don't get me wrong, I love Draymond Green. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. But that ejection is just what you cannot have from Draymond. I know a lot of people, including yourself, you've told me before, you got to worry about the energy that Draymond has. I don't think it's that. It's just staying. It's not even the energy. It's his temper. You could tell, especially in the first quarter, there were a few times when Tristan Thompson would beat him, and he'd want the ball and try to get right back at him, and it's just like a waste of possession. It's things like that which made him an underperformer. The energy is the reason that the Warriors are there. Despite what you want to say about Casey, Steph, and Clay, the reason the Warriors are in the finals is because of Draymond and because of the energy he brings. I think any of those three guys would tell you that. What got him last night was the retaliation. Let me do it all by myself. It was those type things. Plus a little help from the rest on the Cavs side, but we'll get into that when it gets to the other thoughts section of this. But my underperformer was Draymond. You can't have an ejection in the finals. You saw what happened last year when Draymond went off the court, and really you just have to be smarter if you're Draymond Green.
Yeah, I mean, he got lucky that they magically changed the first half call to Steve Kerr so he could stay in the game, but did not end up making a difference in the outcome as the Warriors couldn't climb back.
What's crazy to think about is he had 16 and 14 and didn't even play the whole game. And they were getting destroyed. Like, think about it.
I mean, he played 39 minutes.
Playing well. Like, it's just crazy to think about how much Draymond had impact, and it didn't even feel like it. Like, no one would go, Draymond had a good double-double. Like, no one thought about it. It was all about the Cavs. And that's what's crazy to me is, like, it wasn't that the Warriors played that bad. Yes, Steph had an off night. Clay didn't shoot well. All that. Lots of turnovers. But the Cavs just played phenomenal. That is the best I've ever seen the Cavs play this year.
All right. Dan, who's your underperformer from last night?
I got to go with Steph Curry. He had 10 assists, I think, but only had 14 points and shot 22% from three, comparing that to a 44% from three on the year. So, obviously, a big off in Game 3 for him.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Steph Curry. Like Dan said, could not shoot the rock at all. 2 for 9 from behind the three-point line. And I pointed this stat out with LeBron, and that's why he was my MVP. And Curry my underperformer because of the minus 25 when he was on the court. Just an overall bad shooting night from Steph Curry. He had some open looks, but just could not knock them down. Tough to do that on the road, and I think he'll rebound in Game 5 at home.
I mean, I don't think that you can base everything off the plus minus. I think it's more valuable for LeBron than it is Steph. It's not like Steph cost him 25 points. That's where the plus minus is very hard to look at. In a blowout, you're not gonna get a high plus minus despite how well you play. Draymond didn't have a good plus minus despite having a double-double and close to 20-20. Durant putting up 35. Like, that's where, like, I don't think you're doing this, but just, like, in general for, like, the listeners and all that, like, the plus minus is not something that you can, like, base a good or bad game off of, especially.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Steph didn't cost him 25 points, but I did want to point that out because it was the worst on the Warriors from last night.
Yeah.
Like, LeBron's was the best on the Cavs.
I was listening to the postgame. I think Kerr and Curry, like Coach Kerr and Curry, both admitted that that Curry had a bad game. Like, no one thought he played well. Like, there's an obvious off game for Steph, but I don't think anybody in the Warriors front office or team thinks he's going to repeat that tomorrow, or Monday. He's going to come back coming out strong. I mean, he's almost averaging a triple-double of 25, 8.5, and 9.3 on the finals. Steph's going to be ready for Game 5.
All right, let's move on to some questions that we wrote up to discuss. First question, do the Cavs still have a chance in the series? Dan, what do you think?
I do not think the Cavs still have a chance. I mean, a team has never come back from down 3-0, and it's not going to change this year. They're facing a top 5 team of all time, and I don't think a top 5 team would allow that to happen. So Cleveland definitely will not come back from down 3-0.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Cavs do not have a chance. But I don't think the 3-0 thing has anything to do with it. I think they could be 3-2 and they wouldn't have a chance. I just think that after the first quarter, the Cavs only beat the Warriors by 4 points. The Cavs played such a phenomenal game that now you're going to give the Warriors 3 more times to say, all right, Cavs, play that well 3 more times. It's just not realistic. Whether they're going to do it next game, maybe. They might come out and score 55 next game in the first quarter, whatever. They've got 3 more games to wait for the Cavs to get tired and to get cold. Say what you want about LeBron, say what you want about Kyrie. They're going to wear down. They're going to get tired, especially on such a short rest, that the Cavs, I don't think, had a chance. I don't think they had a chance since Game 1. I made that very clear in all of the podcasts we've done. The Warriors are the better team. The Cavs are the best player, but the Warriors have the best team, and that's why the Cavs didn't have a shot from Game 1, and they still don't now.
That makes 3 of us. I do not think the Cavs have a chance anymore since they did go down 3-0. I mean, if they would have held on for those last couple minutes in Game 3 and made this a 2-2 series instead of a 3-1 right now, I think the Cavs would have a really good shot at winning like I picked them to win. But that 3-0 series lead, now the Warriors are motivated to go out and get it in Game 5. They aren't missing Draymond this time, so I don't really think the Cavs have a chance anymore.
I mean, they might pull up Monday and they might pull out Wednesday or Thursday, whatever the next game is. I wouldn't go as far to say it's going to be like a 30-point blowout this game. I just think when you look at the series, the Cavs do not have a chance to win the series. I said that I could see it in 4. I said I could see it in 5. I said I could see it in 6. The reason I said that was because you guys kept saying don't count LeBron. I don't count out LeBron for a second. But if anybody could do it, it'd be him. But you can't beat a team 1-on-4, 1-on-5, and that's why I don't think they have a chance in the series. If it was a Game 7, say somehow got to Game 7, I would take the Cavs. In one game, I don't bet against LeBron. You can't have one player carry somebody for 7-game series, and that's why I think we all are pretty not wavering on the fact the Cavs don't have a chance.
All right, well, Game 5 is coming up on Monday night, and I mean, the question is Game 5 a must-win for the Warriors? We saw how the Cavs played at home, and if they extended to Game 6, I would pick the Cavs in Game 6. So is Game 5 a must-win for the Warriors? Because, again, if they get to Game 7, like Jason said, you can't bet against LeBron in one game. So if they don't get Game 5, are the wheels starting to fall off for the Warriors?
Okay, I'll take this one first. Yes, it's a must-win. There's no other way to put it besides why would you give LeBron another chance to rally his troops? End it now. I thought they should have done it last night. Not that they didn't try, but now you're in front of your home court. You get to have the celebration on your home floor, have all the fans in their yellow shirts get all pumped when you win. You've got to win Monday night. If you don't win Monday night, there is more pressure on you than there is on LeBron, and that is not something you want to do. You do not want to be the underdog almost when you're going up against LeBron because he will squash you. You've got to take control of Monday because if you don't, the series might be switching who's got the momentum.
All right.
Yeah, it is definitely a must-win. If they lose Game 5, it goes back to Cleveland with all of the momentum for the Cavs. And I think Cleveland would take Game 6. So if the Warriors lose Game 5, then I think it'll be a 7-game series, and the Cavs would take it in 7. So
I'm not saying it's a must win, but it's a game that the Warriors definitely need. I mean, if you just look at the chances, even if you gave them a 25% chance of winning every game, they're still likely going to pull out at least one and win the series. So I don't say it's a must win, but I think Game 5 is definitely one that the Warriors would like to take or the wheels could start falling off.
Actually, it's as simple as one sentence. Don't let LeBron rally his troops. Like, why would you give him another chance?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to if I was the Warriors. But if LeBron and the Cavs did end up pulling this off, would LeBron pass Michael Jordan as the greatest of all time if he came back down from 3-0 after coming back from 3-1 last year and beating a new Warriors team with Kevin Durant? Would he be the greatest of all time? Jason, what do you think?
No. This is where I'm at. I told people that I'm close with, and I've told multiple people this. The only way LeBron becomes the GOAT is if he passes Kareem for most points all time. He's got to get another championship and do that. I don't care if it's this year, next year, whenever. He needs one more championship, and he needs to pass Kareem, and then he's the greatest. In my mind, there's no other way to do it. So I think if he does it, he's in the conversation, and now you're just that one thing away. Because then if you have the most career all points for someone that's not really a shooter, you don't really have another argument. So in my opinion, no, but I can see why people would say yes. I mean, heck, people are saying he's the greatest now.
Yeah, I would say that they are tied in my opinion. 1A, 1B probably. But LeBron would be setting himself up perfectly to pass him in the near future. Still, of course, with a lot more years left to climb stat categories and maybe even win more titles. So LeBron could definitely become the GOAT in the near future if he comes back from down 3-0.
I've got another question. I know we didn't plan on it, but can I ask another question?
Sure.
If they lose this year, can LeBron win another championship? Is his window closed?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, he still has a chance to team up with the Banana Boat squad if he wants to, and Kyrie's only going to get better. Kevin Love's still in his prime. If they can revamp their bench and the Warriors lose a few bench players, plus the chance for injury of one of the Warriors players in the next few years, I think LeBron still has a shot at a championship.
I'm right with you, Dylan. I think LeBron definitely could win another title. The Warriors are going to have some problems with financial stuff.
They're not. They're not going to have an issue. KD and Steph are going to come back.
What about the bench? I mean, once you get Dre, Clay, KD, and Steph, that's their whole salary cap.
Dre and Clay are already signed.
I know, but add KD and Steph's new contracts to that, and where's the bench?
You're going to give Steph a $200 million deal. That's fine. And then you're going to give KD a little bit. You know KD's already got his money. He's not somebody that is worried about the money. He's worried about championships. If he's worried about the money, he would have came back to OKC just like Melo did in New York.
I mean, KD's not going to be signing for a minimum contract either, though.
That's what we thought about LeBron. But he obviously took a huge contract this past offseason.
No, he didn't. He let them make their entire moves, and when they had nothing else to make, then he signed the rest of their salary cap. That's the smartest way to do it. Wait, let the Warriors make every decision that they need to do. Then KD go, how much do you have left? Okay, I'll take it. That's exactly what LeBron did. That's what he's going to do if he comes back.
I mean,
That's the greatest way to do it.
LeBron's still going to take the max. It just means that more is coming out of Dan
Obviously
Gilbert's
not the
pocket.
minimum, but you're going to sign for $10, $15 million. If that's all you have left, you're going to sign for as much as you can. You're not going to leave the Warriors, because if he cared about money only, he would have stayed in OKC last year.
I mean,
I can see that.
LeBron signing the deal after doesn't make a difference, though. He's still signed for the max. It's just more coming out of Dan Gilbert's pocket.
No, he said in a press conference last summer he was waiting until they got Tristan Thompson, waiting until they got JR, then he would sign, because he was not going to make a hit in their salary cap. He waited to see how much money was left, and that's what he signed for.
He's still signed for the max. He has a max
Because they can
1-and-1
afford
deal
it.
right now.
That's what I'm saying. Because they could afford it. If they went and got Melo last year somehow, he would not be able to go to the max. And you're telling me LeBron would have left then? No.
I still think
telling-
the Warriors are still going to have
Durant's not
some.
going to leave, because if he could have left last year. There's no reason for him to come to the Warriors for a year. Great, you won a championship, now you're going to leave? No, not like that.
I'm not saying Durant will leave. I'm saying they're going to have some trouble putting together the rest of their roster besides the Big Four.
You're going to lose Iguodala. I think that's a pretty consensus thing, unless he decides he really wants to just get some rings. I think Iguodala is gone. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But you're going to be able to find guys. You're telling me if you're a free agent that has got enough money, a vet, heck, J.J. Redick, someone that's made enough money throughout his career, if the Warriors go, hey, we're not going to pay you this much, but we're almost a lock to win the championship. Want to come? You're going to tell them no?
There is a 0% chance that J.J. Redick signs for under $10 million, and the Warriors don't really have $10 million to pay him.
I'm saying in general. I'm not saying J.J. specifically. I'm saying guys like that have made enough money throughout their career. I don't think guys like Drew Holiday and Paul Millsap, those guys that haven't really made their pay yet, are not going to come to the Warriors for cheap. I'm saying those second, third, fourth tier free agents, just like Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala, and Matt Barnes, that are going to be good contributors off the bench, that are going to sacrifice some money to win some championships. If you have those four, you're already in the conversation to win a championship. All you need are pieces around them. It's not like they have those four. Oh, they're still in a lot of trouble. They're fine already.
All right. Well, we will revisit that this offseason once this series is over and free agency begins for the NBA. We'll have plenty of podcasts coming up on that. But let's move on to predictions for Game 5. You guys both said it was a must-win. Do you think the Warriors can end it in Golden State, or if the Cavs extend the series? Dan, what do you think?
I got the Warriors 132 to 127. The Cavs cannot put up another record-breaking performance like they did in Game 4. This time on the road also, and Curry and Durant will shoot a lot better from three.
I've got the Dubs by 12. I think it'll be close to the third or fourth quarter. I think first half will be close. Same thing we saw in Game 2 and 3. LeBron and Kyrie will run out of energy, and the Golden State Warriors are 2017 NBA championships. KD gets his ring. Steph and all them get their second, and it's the start of an era for the Golden State Warriors.
I'm also going to go with the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry and KD aren't going to shoot as bad as they did at home. Kyrie plays considerably worse on the road, along with JR and the rest of the Cavs role players. No way they can shoot that well going to Golden State. And also, I've been wrong about every single game this series, and I'm pulling for the Cavs, so got to pick the Warriors.
Are you actually 0 for 4?
So far, yeah.
That's so funny. Well, pick the Cavs then.
No, I'm pulling for the Cavs. No way I'm picking them now.
That's funny. All right, moving into next week. We're taking the day off tomorrow, and then Monday we will be right back at it. We will be putting out the Clippers What's Next series on Monday. Then Tuesday you've got the Pittsburgh Steelers season preview for them. And then, assuming the Warriors win on Monday, we will have the What's Next for them. If they somehow lose, we will be doing the Sacramento Kings. So make sure you stay tuned for that. That's what's coming up this week on the Sports Sermon.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening, and please leave a like if you enjoyed. And if you want to see the rest of our finals, game recaps, depending on how long it goes, we'll have all those podcasts if you subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. The link is in the description. And we will see you guys soon. Thanks for listening.